Okay, say that again. What were you talking about, Bubba?
Going on the big bridge, the way of home.
The big bridge on the way home?
Yeah.
Are you talking about that one right there?
Yeah.
That's an overpass, buddy. Say overpass. Hey, in the 16th century, a Spanish priest co-founded a movement within the Catholic Church that would have been known at that time as the Society of Jesus, more commonly known today as the Jesuits. The Jesuits have a lot of things that they're known for today, but most often they get connected back to the spirituality of one of those co-founders, Ignatius of Loyola. Ignatian spirituality has a lot of spiritual exercises that are all geared towards learning how to see and understand that God is present in everything, right? God is present in people. God is present in all the situations and circumstances that we find ourselves in. God is present even in like the inanimate objects, right? The things that aren't like technically alive, right? God is present in all of those things. The point of that is that in understanding God is present in all things, that we begin to take on a posture of gratefulness towards all things, right? Like we develop a positive outlook that motivates our actions because God is there. God is in everything. Hey Tegan, how you feeling today? Now, that posture of gratitude is a great thing. Sounds like a great thing. Sounds like it might even be easy. That is until you run into a child that's been sick for the past 5 days. I have been over that time worried about my daughter's health. She's been coughing. She's been sniffling. At times she's had a fever. I want her to get healthy for her sake. But when I'm at home with her, you know, that also means that I'm not out and I'm not doing the things that maybe I should be doing in my day-to-day routine, right? And so these like ungrateful thoughts begin to creep into my head as we spend time together. You know, I'm not able to go out to the hospital for hospital visits, right? Because I can't take her germs into the hospital with me. I can't go have, you know, coffee with people, sit down and counsel because I'll have a child that's sitting there coughing, and I'm not really reading for, you know, the classes that I'm doing. I'm not really, you know, doing a lot of the sermon prep that I need to be doing because she has a lot of needs, right? My daughter being sick, you know, puts me behind in a lot of things. And that kind of spirit or that kind of attitude towards life is really the reason why we need to cultivate a spirit of gratitude so that in the hard times, we're able to develop an outlook that remembers that God is present in everything, and therefore I become grateful. The main spiritual exercise that helps Christians do this is what we would call an examine. It's really just like a 10-minute long quiet reflection in which we go over the events of the day. We try to recognize the moments when God was most present in our lives, and then we give thanks for those moments. Right? That's the first step. Then we go over the moments of our day again, except this time we're looking for like the hard, the frustrating moments when maybe we felt like we were very distant from God, that God wasn't around. And we take those moments and we recognize that they were hard moments, and we recognize that without judgment for, you know, anybody that may have been involved in those moments. Maybe we look at those and we do it without judgment for even ourselves. And then once we've been able to see those moments without judgment, we offer them up to the Lord, remembering that grace comes to us. And when we've recognized that grace in the moment of reflection, we then remind ourselves that in those most frustrating moments from the day, that actually, you know, the Lord was there with us then as well. All of this prepares us, right, to approach the things that come next, right, the day to come, right? So now the next time that we have a hard moment, we've done a little bit of work thinking about the presence of the Lord, right? And as we enter into that hard moment, we begin to approach that remembering that the Lord is present, right? And that we have this opportunity to be grateful even for these hard moments. So as we look at the day that comes next, right, we are preparing ourselves to see the Lord as the events of the day unfold. This time type of examine is reflection, right? The world around us isn't really thinking about looking back at what has taken place, right? The world around us is thinking about the next thing, right? Like what's on our to-do list, right? What's the next task that needs to be done? How can I check the next thing off of my list, right? Those responsibilities, though, they'll eventually pile up on us and have us running at a deficit of grace for those who are all around us. This is why reflection is essential. It reminds us that God was with us, that God is with us, and that God will remain with us into the future. And whenever God is present, grace is also present.